Hello everyone, this is William with Alliance Concrete Pumps. On today's Tech Tip Tuesday, we're going to talk about the Outrigger control valve. So we've had some customers calling about their levers, this handle sticking out or being hard to move. So I'm going to show you guys how to disassemble this, clean it, then put it all back together so we can make sure that this is functioning correctly. First place I like to check is the back side of this control block here. So I will take these, I think they're 5mm screws, 4mm Allen wrench. I'm doing this on the bench so visually you can see what's going on, but in the truck it'll be a little bit more awkward. So we've got this end cap here. That stop is a spring stop. Here's the spring. As you can see in the new unit, that it's greased and it's nice and clean. So that's one thing to do, is make sure this cap in here will pick up moisture, and you might get some corrosion in there, or you might get some corrosion in here. So then if you need to disassemble this, there's a spot for an Allen wrench in here. It's actually a 5mm. So this 5mm goes in here. You just crack it to release. And there's the spring assembly. So there's little caps. These ones are pressed on, but as these will age, these caps will either stay on the valve or they'll come apart. So just make sure that you have both end caps and the bolt that goes in the center. So I'll set that off to the side. So once we have this all exposed, now we can see the end of the spool. So to remove the spool, we're going to go from the opposite side and take these screws out. All right, so once the spool's out, remove the two bolts, or the bolts are loose, remove the two bolts. This little end cap, it has a ball inside here. So I just pushed the ball away so that I could install it. So for disassembly, same thing. So now this spool is free. I can push it from the back side, push it out. So, and manufacturing the O-rings left a little residue there. But there's an O-ring in here and there's an O-ring on this other side. So as this spool comes out like so, you can see there's an O-ring groove there, an O-ring groove there. So inside the spool valve, so yeah, the O-ring's right here. So you can use your pick, remove this O-ring. Also, where this oil is sitting here in front of the O-ring or behind the O-ring, there can sometimes be some corrosion that gets built up. So you want to clean that, because the spool, it's a clearance fit. So the spool, you can see, the spool has little grooves in it. So that's what actually seals the internals from the function when it's allowing the oil to pass by. So the O-rings here and on the back side. So if you clean up the back side and the front side, and obviously clean up the spool, I recommend using a scotch pad, like a burgundy colored scotch pad, or some 400 grit emery paper with oil. You can clean up the spool both ends and clean up this bore as best as you can. What I sometimes do is, what I will do is take a bolt and tape a piece of emery paper to the bolt and put that bolt in a drill and run it inside of here to clean out any impurities in there, and do that on both sides. For reassembly, lube up the spool. This spool already has lots of lubrication on it, but you can put it back in very easily. Like I said before, this end block where the handle goes has a ball end. Make sure this void is clean. Apply a little bit of fresh grease in there, and then we'll put this back in like so. And then the same as the back side, put the bolt back in, tighten that up, and then make sure this cavity is empty and clean and dry. You only really need to put grease in this area. You don't really need to pack this full of grease. It doesn't help. If you guys have any questions on disassembly or troubleshooting how this valve comes apart, please give our service department a call. If you need parts for this valve, please give our parts department a call. Thank you and have a great day.